Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the updated 2024 Hyundai Elantra N, Hyundai's answer to the very well-regarded Honda Civic Type R. Is this budget alternative really that much better? And what's it like to live with? Stay tuned to find out. Before we get too far into this one, I want to say a huge thank you to Hyundai for bringing me this vehicle for a full week's worth of testing. It's been a lot of fun, thanks in part to what lies under the hood here. It is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder with that big N turbo on the engine cover. Very similar approach to what Honda does with their Civic Type R, though we aren't getting these same power numbers. Here in the Elantra N, we get 276 horsepower, 289 pound-feet of torque, where the Civic gets 315, 310. Hyundai claims that is good for a 0 to 60 run of 4.8 seconds with the 8-speed wet dual-clutch automatic in our particular tester, which is faster than their 6-speed manual. The Honda Civic Type R stays true to form and only gives a 6-speed manual and does 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, but a lot of that is relegated to driver's skill. Closing the hood and taking a look at the styling of this, it has taken the hot hatch approach without being a hot hatch. Yes, this is a hot sedan, but you can see we get an in-specific front fascia on this with actual air pass-throughs around the front corners of this, and no full-width LED light bar like on other updated 2024 Elantra models. We just get that silver connecting piece in between the LED headlights, running lights, turn signals, all that fun stuff. We do have all LED lights, and then we have this very massive air cooler, intercooler down here for the engine, for the turbo, for all the things that makes this an N. N really stands for 3 things in Hyundai's world: track capability, daily drivability, and perhaps my favorite, and the fact that really reiterates that this is a Korean company, it's a corner rascal. And we'll talk more about what that means exactly when we're behind the wheel, but yes, it is a corner rascal. I can vouch for that. Part of that is due to the fact that we've got these Michelin Pilot Sport 4S summer tires, very sticky performance tires. These are the best of the best performance tires for a daily drivable car that you can get, wrapped around these in-specific black wheels. These are 19-inch wheels wrapped in these 245/35 Michelin summer tires. You get those big brakes up front, 14.2-inch disc brakes up front, 12.4-inch disc brakes in the rear, with those red brake calipers. Further styling enhancements down the side, we get that in-specific side sill on this. We get all the black accents around the windows. We get those black wheels. We get that black wing-like rear spoiler. Not a lot has changed to the side profile, but it definitely stands out as the performance model. Coming back to the back, you can absolutely tell, even if the vehicle isn't on, because again, we have that big black wing-like rear spoiler, and then the dual exhaust back here. It is a multi-stage adjustable exhaust, so it can be as quiet or as loud as you want it. And then we have this matte black in-specific rear bumper with diffuser on the back. We get blacked out badging and an in badge there on the trunk lid. The trunk does open, though you aren't really buying this vehicle for its practicality. It does have a very large usable trunk space, though the single piece folding rear seat back is kind of negated by the additional bracing back here in the back. Again, to be a corner rascal, you have to be stiff. This corner bracing definitely helps with that. You can still fold the seat back down, but you need 2 hands to do it, maybe even 3 to push it down when pulling those 2 latches. And well, Tucker's child safety seat is currently in place. Underneath here, go ahead and show you, there is no spare, but there is fix a flat. So yes, if your summer performance tires get a flat, well, there you go. There is no grab handle underneath here to close this, so you will be getting your fingers dirty and the back of your trunk dirty every time you go to close it, unfortunately speaking. But yes, this thing really sets itself apart in style with very unique front and rear fascias, those black wheels, and some additional lower sill plates. Before we get in this one, I did want to show you the key. It is the new version of Hyundai's key. It is actually the Hyundai logo, but it's all blacked out because it is the N model. You get lock, unlock, remote start, a panic button, a trunk release button, and that is it here on this one. It has grown in size over the old style. I don't know that I love this for its everyday usability, but it's practical enough, especially with all the buttons on it. You don't need to ever take it out of your pocket or your purse because we do have passive entry. You can unlock it by touching the back of the door handles or lock it by pushing that little button right there. This is not on all 4 doors, so you can't get it into it without going to the front door first and then opening the back door. When we do, we can take a look at the contrasting black interior to this ultimate red exterior. I really wish we had had the in-specific blue color, but this ultimate red ain't too bad either. You can see we've got all this Alcantara accenting throughout the vehicle, starting here on the door panel. There are a lot of things shared with the normal Elantra here, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there are some things that are a little head scratching, just like the placement of the door handle. It feels very low, but I really like the design of the door, so I guess I can't complain too much. Auto up-down driver's window, but not all 4. This is a value sedan when all things are considered. All manual seat adjustments on the Elantra, and again, this is more focused on performance than luxury. You can see we get in branded floor mats and in specific seats. These seats are very nice, very comfortable, though you have to be very careful as a guy with the side bolsters here. This N actually does illuminate at night, which is really cool, and they do hug and support you very nice and firm. This is leather, this is Alcantara. They are very comfortable, but I'm gonna very carefully get in. Okay, saved it. Once you get in, there is, just like all Elantras, plenty of room in here. This is a nice, roomy and comfortable sedan. We'll go ahead and close the door, come around, put my foot on the brake, and start the engine up. We get dual 10.25 inch screens, full digital screens here on both sides, which it comes as no surprise. Hyundai's leaning very far into this. We'll start over my left knee. We've got brightness control and traction control. A couple poverty blinks. Again, this is a performance model, not a luxury model. The screen here changes as you go through your different drive modes. You can see we're in normal, now we're in sport, and now we're in eco, but those are not our only drive modes. Further drive modes in and custom can be accessed by pushing these buttons on the steering wheel. This is the in mode. You can see much more performance oriented, and then custom changes a few different things on its driver profile. You can see we do have traffic sign recognition. We've got all the necessary information in front of us, including some track specific stuff. 10.25 inch screen over here, but unfortunately we only have wired Apple CarPlay. If you don't like that, you can reach out to this channel's sponsor, SyncKid wireless adapters. You can see this has a USB-A plug. We plug it right in to the adapter down here and give it a few seconds for it to come to life. My phone is already paired to it, and now, of course, yes, it recognizes Apple CarPlay, and we can ditch the cords because now we have wireless Apple CarPlay, which is very nice, and there's George for us. But yes, very much like having wireless Apple CarPlay even here in this model. Some interesting curiosities. We do have the 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission, but I find myself, I guess, grabbing it like this and punching the controls every time I put it back into park. I gotta learn how to use the shifter a little bit better, I do believe, because I keep hitting the HVAC controls. I do like how we still get physical controls. We still get physical controls down here, even though we have an infotainment system that so many brands are like trying to put everything into recently. You can control some more things, your ADAS stuff, your lane centering, lane tracing, all that fun stuff, your track, and all of that. We do have some paddle shifters on the back for that 8-speed. So everything that you would expect in a modern vehicle, except for wireless Apple CarPlay. But again, that is solved by our channel sponsor, or this video sponsor. We do have a Qi wireless charger down here. You see drive mode button, rear camera button. We only have a backup camera in this, so no blind zone cameras or anything like that. Really like the mechanical nature of this. You can slap it over into manual to use those paddle shifters, so that's nice. Still get a actual handbrake here, no electronic handbrake. A couple of cup holders with a removable adapter, so you have different sizes there, which is kind of nice. Decent size center console here, decent size glove box here, but you can see not damped. It'll drop down on you. A little bit of storage in the door, but everything is like sloping down. Again, going to the design choices up here, everything is sloping down. It's just interesting to live with this one. No giant red seats, red carpet like we get in the Honda Civic Type R. A little more understated black with blue trim, because this baby blue is the specific color for the brand. So lots of blue accenting here, but not a lot of red like you will see in the Honda Civic. Still plenty of headroom for me. We do have a manual opening sunshade for the standard sized sunroof up here. Nothing special when it comes to your rearview mirror, though you don't really need it. Visibility is really good. Go ahead and pop out here and see what the back seat is like sitting behind myself at 5'10", because I am truly impressed with just how much space is in this vehicle. You can see more of that blue stitching throughout, more Alcantara, so it's not just up front, even here on the door panels. But coming to the back, don't have to worry about injuring yourself because there are no thick bolsters sticking up or protruding. Plenty of legroom back here. Very impressed with just how much legroom is behind these seats. You can see Tucker has been riding back here. No amenities really to speak of when it comes to HVAC, but we do have a couple of USB-C power ports back here, but that's about it. A little bit of storage in the door. Not a lot going on back here, and I can feel the sun coming back through the glass back here. Big sloping rear glass, but yeah, no armrest. Not a lot going on back here. So let's do what you were wanting us to do from the moment I got this vehicle. Let's hop in and see how it drives. As we set off in the 2024 Hyundai Elantra in, now would be a good time to talk about similarities and differences outside of the engine with the Honda Civic Type R. Starting with the price, most notably, the Civic Type R starts at $44,000, and some dealers are still putting some insane markups on them. You can't even get one of these in the 40s. Like this one, as it sits, including its destination, $36,000 and some change, which is very impressive. Couple that with the fact that performance numbers, 0 to 60 times, are actually just slightly better than the 6-speed manual only Civic Type R. Kind of has you wondering, is that the one to get, or should you get this? Granted, you do pay a penalty in 0 to 60 times, even here in the Elantra in, if you go with the 6-speed manual, but it's more fun. So if you're only concerned about drag racing these, well, you get the dual clutch in the Elantra in. You'll just edge out the best of the best drivers with the 6-speed manual only Civic Type R. Speaking of 0 to 60, let's test out our other video sponsor, Racebox, with their race timer. We are in launch control. We are in mode, custom mode. We're gonna go ahead and put it in drive, firmly on the brake, firmly on the gas, and let's go. Oh my goodness. Woo! So in a parking lot, non-prepped surface, 5.94 with a GPS timer, not totally warmed up, not totally prepped. If you want to see more on some performance numbers, definitely go check out our second channel, One Off Garage, where Eric and I will really put this thing through its paces. All right, typical situation here. Let's see what it's like getting out in traffic. The in-Grin shift wasn't even employed in that, but being that this is an in model, there is a Grin. It's just fun. It is instantly peppy and so much fun. The power numbers on this are actually lower than the last performance vehicle we had here on the channel, and that was a heavier, bigger Dodge Hornet GT. Yes, crossover. This is a smaller, lighter, midsize sedan, compact sedan, really kind of bridging that gap. Compact sedans have gotten huge here lately. But yeah, this is a completely different driving experience than that last crossover. Again, it's just ready to go. There's a lot of fun and peppiness in this vehicle. This is the absolute worst part of testing in city limits: traffic. And school just let out, so school traffic. Depending on what drive mode you're in, determines just how loud that exhaust is back behind you. Being in custom mode right now, it's its loudest. There are pops and cracks and burbles, all kinds of fun noises coming from back behind me. If you put this in normal mode or eco mode, it's actually kind of a quiet, boring experience, at least when it comes to the sounds this thing makes. But you put it in mode and give it a little throttle, and she's off to the races. It is a lot of fun, though this isn't the best drag car out there. In my experience with it, not using launch control, so if you're just like in traffic and you're trying to brake boost it, it takes a little while to figure out, oh, you want to go. But when it does, yeah, you're moving pretty quickly, and those shifts from that 8-speed wet dual clutch do kind of give you a kick in the pants as you accelerate through the rev range and through the gears. To truly get the most of this powertrain, you need to be using premium fuel, and you do need to be using this red button right here, NGS, in Grin shift mode. Does give you a little bit of a timer, so you're limited to how much time you get to spend with the maximum power, but it calculates all of the engine and computer controllable features of the engine to make this a more fun, peppy, sporty, and powerful vehicle. Although, even without using it, it is still fun to drive. And this ultimate red paint is kind of a look at me, give me a speeding ticket. So I need to be just a little bit careful with how I drive as I head into a notoriously high area for speeding tickets and hidden police officers. And we've got a wreck. If you want to see what this thing is like in normal mode, in daily livability, hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when our family review drops, where Holly's behind the wheel, Tucker's in the back seat. We'll give you a little more daily practicality aspect review of this vehicle, because again, that is one of the 3 pillars of what IN stands for within the halls of Hyundai: daily practicality. But I can absolutely see that this would be a major blast on the track, because on this gauge screen here in front of me, it does have some fun things like a lap timer and a track map for certain racetracks around the country, all of which I think is absolutely very cool. All right, here's where we get into that corner rascal aspect of it. We've got a yield turn, but no traffic, so here we go. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is a lot of fun. This chassis is so stiff and so ready to go. When things get twisty, I love it. It is so stiff, in fact, there is a certain parking lot that when I turn to get into it, you actually lift a wheel up off the ground. It's a stiff chassis, for sure. This thing loves to hug and take corners, and those summer performance tires absolutely help, as does the electronic limited slip differential up front. All of that works together to make sure that this is a very fun front-wheel drive performance car. Here we go again, another yield. Let's have some fun. Hit the red button. Yep. Oh, this thing is fun and quick. And sadly, that daily drivability means, yes, I'm stuck in traffic, but I can see how owning one of these would get a little more expensive for me in the speeding ticket category, because this one definitely makes me drive like I got ticket money. And let's face it, I don't, unless you hit subscribe and ring that bell. Check out all of our content. Help us out as we help you out. Follow along with us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, in the Corner Rascal 2024 Hyundai Elantra IN, until next time, gearheads, bye. This thing, my goodness, you can make everyone in the car sick. It sticks to the road. My goodness. Corner Rascal indeed.